Hey everybody, welcome back to Smoky Hill Bonsai. Today, in the rain, we're going to attempt to repot this wisteria. So I dug this wisteria a couple years ago and it's been in this container ever since. You may have seen the video I did of the summer prune last year. Well, this year it's time to get it out of the container. I have no idea what it's going to look like in there. I'm hoping the whole container is full of roots. I'm going to pull it out. We're going to rake some soil off of it. We're going to select some roots, hopefully that we can build off of. We'll remove anything that's big that we might not need. And then the goal is to put it back into this pot to continue training it for a while. I want to continue to build the root system on this plant. So that's the goal for today. It's starting to rain, so I'm not going to talk a lot and I'm going to get to work. It's been in the pot for about 2 years now, and I can see a lot of roots around the surface, so that's a really good sign. Okay, I still see some really large roots in here that I didn't get cut off last time. I see a lot of new root growth, and I see a lot of really fine roots, so I think we're in really good shape here. So the next thing I'm going to do is continue to clean the soil away from the roots. All right, Amelia, so what we're going to do is just take our chopstick and we're just gently going to poke and gently going to rake. We want to be real careful. We don't want to tear any roots because we want to
have a good root system.
Right, we want to know what we're looking at first before we do anything damage.
I'm already a professional.
So I think I'm really happy. with what I'm seeing. All these fine roots are what we're looking at to cultivate here. And then it's important, we're going to find some roots here that are rotten, that died in the first, probably when we dug it. It's important to get all that out of there too. It'll just continue to decompose, and here's our screen.
So you don't want that big root?
Like this? No, we're gonna remove this and we're gonna find out where. We'll take it back. It looks like we have live stuff coming off of it way up here. And so because this might add to the nabari coming out, we're gonna be careful not to take too much of that off at first. We may decide later we need to. Here's some old field soil that's still left over from the initial dig.
Daddy, what's this? Is that a root?
Yep, that's another root in there that...
It looks thicker than this one. Dad, quick question.
Yeah.
How are we gonna know how old this tree is if there's nothing in the middle, like a big
tree rings?
Yeah.
I'm not sure the wisteria will put a tree ring, a growth ring on, like a tree would.
So how old does the big tree usually, like a healthy tree usually get? A healthy bonsai usually get?
Oh, there's bonsai trees that have been well cared for centuries.
So they'll always stay like a small tree?
As long as they're always maintained properly, that way they will be.
So if you just water a tree every day and don't prune it, and you just change pots and you never really trim it, would that...
That would not be healthy.
All right.
A healthy practice for the tree.
So can you plant a bonsai and leave it and it'll grow into a big tree?
Yeah, so if you took a bonsai that's been trained and planted it out into the ground, it will grow back into a full-size tree.
Dad.
But you're gonna have to be really careful because
What did I do?
with all that training and condensing the root system, it might not be able to
Regrow?
establish on its own quickly. Might take a little extra time and care.
So if it's not...
Okay, so I think what we'll do real quick is I'm gonna move this over into the lawn, and we're gonna use some water and wash these now. So maybe Amelia, if you'll turn the water on for me. Amelia, you can still use your chopstick and okay, so the next step, now that we've kind of washed that a little bit, is we're going to start looking at some big roots throughout here that we can remove. And as we remove them, we may be returning to the garden hose to wash a little more. But I'm liking that I'm seeing so many smaller roots up top that we should be able to feel good about removing some of these bigger roots. So it's starting to rain a little bit more, so I'm going to just kind of pick up the pace here a little bit. So I've got some decaying wood right here I need to deal with. So I'm going to clean that out the best I can. Looks like I kind of cut it back to some live stuff there, but it seems to be really fibrous. So I'm going to take my knife and I'm going to try to make a nice clean cut back into the live stuff there. Clean that up better. You can see where I cleaned it with my knife, but there's still a lot of real pithy stuff in there. I'm gonna do my best to get it all worked out of there. And this tree is hollow up through the middle. And so I guess this is where the water will run out of it when I water it. Just to kind of show you, this is some of the type of stuff I've already been taking off of here. Taking those out from underneath so far. And I still have some more stuff I can get to. So I'll be taking a little more of this off. I've got I think a lot of good stuff to work with up here. I get down in here and take some more of these bigger roots off. And for that, I'm using my branch saw. Here's an old root that's still real spongy and kind of tucked back up in these other roots. I'm gonna work on it for a little bit and see if I can't use my knob cutters to free that space up. First I want to make sure I get all the old junk out of it, just so we're starting with a clean pot. And I'm going to give the root system another rinse off. You can see where I have to clean that cavity out there. And we're just about ready to put this back in the container. I've cut quite a bit off the bottom, you can see. And I'm going to just test fit it. And I'm gonna have lots of room inside this container. So I'm gonna get it ready to pot. Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna do is cover the drainage holes up in the bottom with this mesh. So I'm just gonna rip some off here. And then I'm gonna just set them up over the holes. And I'm gonna put some soil in there right away, so I'm not gonna do anything more other than set them into place. So the first thing I'm gonna put in to this container is a larger soil particle size. And what I have in here is pumice, which is the white, and some lava rock, which is the red. And this is gonna act as the oxygen layer of the container. So I'm just gonna have a single layer of this in the bottom. And then as I put this in, I'll make sure that it's holding my screens in place. Okay, so I've got a single layer of particles in the bottom, and now what we're going to use is a little more, like a part and a half of pumice, and then hadeite, and the red is lava rock. And so it's about a 1 to 1 to 1.5. Now I'm going to mix it up real good. And there is just a little bit, just a hint of decomposed pine bark in it. Now I did a soil video on this, and in that video I showed how to screen all the particles, and I went into some detail about screen size and stuff. So I'm gonna put that in the in a little link up here above, right here. And now since I have done that and I have sifted it once, now I'm just going to kind of sift it again real quick, just to and then I'm going to add this as another single layer. Okay, so we're going to have some voids in here that we're going to have to fill. So the first thing I'm going to do is try to think about where that's going to go. I'm going to set that in there and see if how well it's going to sit, and then I'll do some bulk fill, and then we'll try to get in all these nooks and crannies and see if we can't get all those air pockets filled up. I'm going to tease these roots out, and I'm going to get them into as much of a radial pattern as I possibly can. Okay, I think we got it. I'll water it here in a second. But first, one other thing I want to do. Okay, I think we've got it. I'm going to water the tree in now, and I'm going to make sure I run enough water to rinse all the dust out of the tree, or out of the soil that maybe made it through the sifting process. You can see down here where it's coming out. We're going to make sure we rinse that until it's clear. So we almost beat the rain. It's starting to get more wet out here, and I'm kind of glad to be finished real quick. What's next for the tree is we will continue to build the root system on this, and this year I will let it grow freely to a point. A couple years ago I was going to do the same after I repotted it, but it kind of started taking over everything. So it's pretty much going to be allowed to grow. I won't put any fertilizer on it right away. I'll wait until about midsummer to give it just a little bit, and then of course knock off well before fall time. I think the root system, I think it's looking good. We took a lot off of it, but we still had a lot of fine stuff there. I see the buds are starting to break, and that's why we rushed this during this rain time, because I feel like if I didn't do it tonight, I might not have gotten to it before it leafed out. So I'm pretty happy with the way it looks. Please let me know if you saw something that I missed. Please let me know in the comments if you think I should have cut more of those big roots off at the bottom. Tell me what you think about this. I'm excited to watch it go. I'll tell you what, I might be able to squeeze in another repot or two, but I still have bonsai stuff to work on all summer, and I'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel, give the video a like if you like it, and let's get in and get warm now that it's raining. So take care, everybody. Thanks for watching Smoky Hill Bonsai, and I want to say thank you to my wife who helped do a little bit of filming up front before she got too cold, and my daughter who's a trooper and stayed to the end and is now going to help me dry my tools off in the garage. So take care.